Who is inherently better, the Jedi or the Sith? Let's get into it. Before we get into the topic today, guys, I want to give a big shout out to the people on the whiteboard. If you're on this whiteboard, you are a direct supporter of the channel. We have my Twitch subscribers, my YouTube members, and my direct dollar bill donors. Shout out to each and every one of you. You guys are the best. So let's talk about this. This was a question posed by Meat. Shout out to Meat. And it's quite easy to understand and direct with the whiteboard. So we've got the Jedi blue. We've got the Sith red. Now we are going to be making our points in black. So let's immediately make some differentiations here between the Jedi and the Sith. So the Jedi, they like to be selfless, right? The Sith, they like to be selfish in their usage of the Force. No matter what, the Force is being used by both, right? Now, let's talk about power. The Sith, they crave power. They crave power. Whether you're the master, and we're talking post-Bane Sith. We're talking post-Bane Sith. Whether you're the master and you possess the power, or you are the apprentice and you crave the power. Either way, there's still power to be had. There's still power to be craved. The Jedi, they sort of, hot take, they sort of acknowledge power. They know that they're Jedi. They know they have special perks. They know that they live freely. They know that people have certain premonitions. They know that they have certain thoughts about them. And I think for that reason, they get away with certain things. You see that a lot in the Clone Wars. So the Jedi are sort of like a shift leader or a manager or like middle management, whereas the Sith are those long tenured employees that think that they deserve more opportunities than they've been given, right? Either way, there's power. Let's talk about demeanor. Let's talk about demeanor. Most Sith that we know are grouchy, grumpy, angry people, right? They get their dark side aura specifically from hatred. The Jedi, whilst they can still hold on to some negative emotions, are more often than not peaceful. And I think this is a very big reasoning for picking one way or the other. Do you want a peaceful life, or do you want a life that's engulfed with hatred? You got to ask yourself that. Now, with the Jedi, You got to think about perks. Perks of a Jedi include free transportation, right? They include free housing, free meals, a very handsome stipend of cash. No worries about possessions. No worries about possessions being stolen apart from your lightsaber. So, I would say carefree living, right? Carefree living. You are practically on work vacations, work holidays, your entire life. It's pretty dope. We talk about the Sith. Bane era Sith. More often than not, you are in a life of solitude. You are in a life of confinement, a life of stealth, a life of hiding in plain sight. There's been broke Sith. There's been powerful Sith. There's been Sith that controlled the banks. There's been Sith that controlled armies. But no matter what, you have to live a lie. And living a lie, that's got to be tough, because you make one lie and then you have to lie to cover up the lie, and it just keeps snowballing and it keeps pyramid scheming. So ultimately, you are living a very confined life. Now, that might be a positive to one, it might be negative to the other, but I think I'd also lean towards the carefree living. Then you got to think about, and I know this might not matter to some folks, but you got to think about drip. You got to think about drip. Do you want to wear all black? Or do you want to wear pretty much whatever you want? Now, am I wearing all black right now? I am. So, but I'm not wearing all black because I chose to, but I'm not wearing all black because I had to, right? So I would say mid drip, and then unlimited drip. So we've talked about transportation, we've talked about pros, we've talked about cons. You got to talk about association, because I have a rule in my life that you are only as good as the company you got. With the Sith, you're only ever hanging around these kind of people. You're only around, you're scheming with, you're fighting with, you're talking to, you're learning from these kinds of people, right? So I gotta say, this is a negative environment. With the Jedi, apart from like politicians, apart from senators and all that, I would have to say that you're hanging out with some cool people. You're hanging out with some cool people. And I don't know if anybody is going to be against hanging out with cool people. You get to go to shows. You get to have a good time. You get to go to... Are you kidding me? I'm underlining this one because I'm a big fan of travel. I think traveling is sick. You get to go on diplomatic trips all the time. That's dope. Over here, you're living a stagnant life. You're very stagnant. And then let's talk about cringe, I guess. You know, a lot of cringe on both sides, so I'm not going to put it on the board, but cringe for different reasons. With the Sith, being around all of this, being around people that growl, being around grumpy people, that's pretty cringe. But then being around Jedi who you're just around a bunch of Boy Scouts, that's also pretty cringe. So I'm not going to give one way or another to either of them, but let's talk about the hustle. Sith, we haven't erased yet. Not going to start now. Sith are allowed to get it on. Jedi, it's ingrained in them that it is forbidden. But I guarantee a majority. So if we're getting on the pie chart, that's the pie chart. First slice is right here. If 50%'s right here, probably say, I would estimate a cool 60% of Jedi were getting it on. That's just my estimate, because you have to remember, you're traveling a lot. You have unlimited drip. It's carefree living. Now we know that Palpatine was getting it on all the time. So if that's your style, if that's your speed, you know, pick one way or another. Me, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. I'm a one lady guy. I love my one woman. It's all that matters to me. I know a lot of people live a different lifestyle, and that's cool. It is what it is. But I think both were probably getting it on. We have plenty of examples of all of them. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Anakin, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Yoda, Yaddle, Mace Windu, Dooku. List goes on, folks. Luke Skywalker. Come on. Rey. Come on. I'm going to say powers, you know? Because inherently they have powers that are for the good, right? So if we're talking about which is best. So if we're talking about which is best, who's better, I'm going to say that the light side powers are inherently better because they serve good, right? These powers are more or less about causing hurt, causing pain. It's not my speed. It's not my speed. I'm a happy guy. I'm a peaceful guy. I'm all about making sure people are happy and doing the best that they can. And, you know, I just feel like the powers of the Jedi are about helping others. You know? Force heal. Force aura. Force speed. It's all about helping others. Now, lastly, I think we got to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is masters, apprentices. That's learning styles, right? I think hands-on learning style as opposed to negative punishment. For me, I'm gonna choose hands-on 25/8. You know, put me in the field, let me fail, teach me why I failed, teach me how to do it right, and let me go again. But if I mess up and I'm getting force lightninged, if I'm getting fried by some Gucci robe wearing, grouchy, melted grandpa, I think we're gonna have a problem. And I'm not gonna like it. So you have that, and we also got to talk about hierarchy. There's opportunity to gain a promotion from within. Right here, you have to earn it by killing the guy ahead of you. So that's your speed. That's your speed. When I look at all of these, non-biased, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the Jedi are better than the Sith. I'm gonna say the W Jedi are better than the Sith because they are selfless. They acknowledge their power, yet they still don't abuse it. They are peaceful, which in turn gives them carefree living. They have unlimited drip. They have a positive outlook, unlimited travel. Love is forbidden. You know, that's like the one knock in all of this. They have powers for good, hands-on learning style, and a nice structured hierarchy. With the Sith, they use their power for selfish means. They crave power. They're bound by hatred. They live a confined life. They have pretty mid drip, if you ask me. They live a negative energy lifestyle. They're stagnant in the fact that they don't really move around too often. They are allowed to move around often. They use their power for hurt. They exercise negative punishment, and if you want a promotion, you must earn it. So that is my breakdown of the Jedi and the Sith. Again, thank you to my donors and my members. Much appreciated. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Were any of my takes wrong and why? It's been your boy SoTeeko. I do appreciate each and every single one of you. And above all else, guys, make sure to stay safe. Tell your mother that you love her. With peace, knowledge, and serenity, may the force be with you, because I am out. Peace.